Hello everyone, I'm Keys Ritual again, and I'm not doing makeup today, sorry, but I decided I didn't want to do much makeup, so I already did it. And I'm about to go visit my grandmother at rehab again today after I walk to McDonald's and then get a taxi. So, yeah. But today I'm going to tell you about the time I accidentally bought drugs without knowing what I was doing. Okay, but let me start with the story first, okay? I was currently living in Arkansas. It was, I believe, 2008. I don't recall what time of year. I just know I went for a week or two to New York City. I was around 20 years old, and I hadn't been to New York since I was a child, from when I was born there. And I was going to visit my father, who I had never met before. He found me on Facebook. It's a whole different story. So we were working at Coney Island at the carnival for a few extra bucks, and it was like we were staying in the Bronx, so it was like a good 2 hour, 2.5 hour trip to Coney Island. And there's a lot of people in New York that like to sell DVDs for $1, like they're bootleg, of course, and they'll go around. Well, someone tried to sell a DVD to my father, and he's like, I don't want one, but go ask my son. He loves movies. So he sent him to me, and so the guy came to me. I was working this cork gun game where you shoot the cork gun and try to knock a prize off, and whatever falls is what the prize you get. And he's like going through the DVDs. He has this huge backpack full of like slim case DVDs, mostly new releases still in the theater, and then like half of them was like porn. And he was going through them. I'm like, no, no, didn't want them. Just didn't really get interest. And then he came to the DVDs to Observe and Report. And at this time, Observe and Report had already been out for over a year. So it didn't quite match with the rest of the DVDs, but I'm like, I want that. It was like had like the saran wrapping, and I was still busy working for another 7 hours because in the carnival you work from open to close. There's no switching out like other jobs. So I threw it in my Watchman bag, which I had bought the previous day at Virgin Mobile closing out in Union Square. They were like 80% off of the bag. So I threw it in there and I continued my day at work, talked to people. Of course, people always saying the game is fixed and trying to beat me up. Well, at the end of the day, I grabbed my crap. We finished the game. I got whatever money I made for the day, and we all got on the train. It was pretty empty because Coney Island's the last stop on the train, and that's when people first get on. And we were like waiting like 20 minutes for the train to start. And I'm sitting around the middle of the seat, of like the full length of the seat. My father's on my right. Nancy, who is my stepmother, is on my left, who I had also just recently met. My sister is sitting across from me, and there's this guy sitting diagonally from me, but a little further off, that's wearing like what looks like a cop uniform, but it's not. It just appears so. And so we're waiting, so I'm like, I'm gonna open up my DVD now. So I rip the ceiling off and I pop it open and I look inside it and there's no DVD. And I was pissed off. But what I didn't see was these two little packets about that big. They're about an inch or inch and a half square come out of it. And they just look like I didn't even really notice them. My sister, twin sister sitting across from me, thought it was paper, apparently. But the person on my left and right, they knew what it was. And they launched for my lap. And I was totally confused. I'm like, what's going on? They grab it and like Nancy grabs the little packets and my father grabs the DVD case and they shove them together, and then my father goes and the train doors are still open. There's like a gap between the track and the train, and he drops it in there, and I'm like, what happened? And I'm like, I just got ripped off, and he's like, no, you didn't. You just bought drugs. And I don't really know what drugs it was, but I'm guessing heroin. That was my best guess because I didn't look at it clearly, not really that tuned on what drugs are. Like I know what drugs are, but I don't know what they look like specifically. I don't do any. I don't do any. So I was still like, oh, so I did come off on top, but I didn't get my movie. And that was like the last time I wanted to like DVD because I'm like, I'm just gonna get drugs again, and I'm not gonna get the things I want. And I don't do drugs, and I don't really know who to sell it to, so it's not like I'm gonna make any money. So that was, I believe, our last day. We only worked like the carnival 2 days at Coney Island. Like Future, I worked more, but that's a different story as well. Um, I'm quite sure that guy is a little pissed off, although I don't know who it is, and I'm sorry, no one did your drugs unless they jumped in the tracks later on and took them, but that's the end. But of course, I like Facebooked all my friends after I got back to the house, and I'm like, oh, I just bought drugs and I didn't mean to. But thanks for watching my video, everyone. I will see you all next time. But if you like this video, you like the story, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, if you want to see my makeup since like January, since I was lazy before that, you can follow me on Instagram or like me on Facebook. And I will see you all next time. Bye.